سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبده ورسوله إن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة كل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again for giving us respite till this moment. All praises is due to Him, the Lord of the worlds, who kept our lives for us to go ahead and increase ourselves in righteous deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make righteous deeds easy on our limbs and righteous deeds dear into our hearts. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds. Also part of the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He gave us the opportunity to witness the first 10 days of this month, the Eid, Yawm al-Arafah, and the Ayyam al-Tashriq. All the activities, ibadat, mu'amalat al-hasana, that is good behavior or interaction with people, and the ibadat we did on these days, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept them. In continuation of our lessons, we started the Muqaddimah into the Sahabah series, and we intend to conclude the Muqaddimah today. Some of us might be feeling, let's get to talking about the Sahaba. It's part of it, because the scholars of Islam, they take time before they go straight into the subject. They take time to put the understanding of the readers or the listeners into the right perspective. If you look into Fathul Bari by Ibn Hajar, most of the book, if you check, is always around 14, 15, 16 volumes. The first volume is just Muqaddimah. A whole volume is for Muqaddimah. In fact, that volume has a different name from the book Hadi Sari, as popularly called by some. So Muqaddimah is always very important, because as you go into the subject, it helps you to be in the right frame of mind. And it's, like it is called Muqaddimah, it's called, some people call it wetting the ground, making the ground you step on while you go in, easy on you, and it helps you to, have the best of understanding. So the last time we discussed, we were able to go into the definition of who a companion is. And who can tell us who a companion is? The characteristics, yes.
A person who's a Muslim, and that person.
You're a Muslim. Are you a companion?
And you have to see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Saw the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
And you also have to.
Okay, let's do it this way, one after the other. You've mentioned one. That person has to be a Muslim.
That person actually needs to spend a decent amount of time with Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They can't
Met the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, spend some time,
and then go back to where they were actually. Otherwise, they don't categorize as Sahaba.
Okay. All right. Were you here? You were in the city. Okay. You want to tell us one characteristic of a companion?
Someone they have to see the Prophet
See the Prophet.
And they have to die as a Muslim.
Die as a Muslim. Very important too. Yeah, so a Muslim, because non-Muslims also saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Non-Muslims also spent a lot of time with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, that person who saw the Prophet had to be a Muslim, had to die as a Muslim. Do we understand? Even if he changes, became a murtad and came back to Islam, is still considered as a companion before he dies. Maybe at the point he came back to Islam, the Rasul had passed away, but he came back to Islam and died a Muslim. He doesn't lose that, rank, because it's like a rank, So a Muslim who met the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a believer and died as a Muslim. There's one thing we have not. Yeah.
Is it met the Prophet or saw the Prophet?
Met. Can you meet someone without seeing the person? Yeah, it's possible, because Abdullah ibn Maktoum met the Rasul but never saw the Rasul. Why? Because he was blind. But he's his companion. So that's why you don't actually, you expand it, you say met, not see, because some did not see the Rasul. All right, there's one very important sifa we have not mentioned. Very important. Okay, we've mentioned it has to be a Muslim, because the sifa has to believe in the Rasul. So that makes you a Muslim then, yeah.
Is it that they became Muslim during the lifetime of the Prophet? Not became.
If you become a Muslim and you never met the Rasul, you are not a companion.
But if you met him while he was Kafir, and then after he passed away, he became Muslim, what is that? Sahabah?
It's not a companion. You have to be a companion at the point when you met the Rasul. A Muslim, a believer in the Rasul. That person who became a Muslim during the time of the Rasul but never met the Rasul. There are a lot of them like that. They are called Mukhadramun. Al-Mukhadramun. They are Mukhadram. Mimun, Kha'un, Dadun. Mukhadramun. I don't know the meaning linguistically, but that's the terminology for those who became Muslim during the time of the but never met the Rasul, or those who lived during the time of the Rasul but became Muslim after the passing away of the Rasul. They are called Mukhadramun. Now, so that was who a companion is. All right. We told us that the companions, they have a special status in Islam, an institutional status in Islam that we return to, and that is backed by a verse of the Quran, at least, that we quoted to us. If you can't quote it in Arabic, who can tell us the import of that ayah of the Quran? Huh?
It's about the ayah regarding the companions.
Ayah about?
The companions.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Are you speaking about the ayah regarding the companions?
Regarding the status of the companions.
I don't remember the full thing, but it was like السابقون في الأولون
السابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار. Yes, we quoted that. However, there's a verse that I took some time to explain. Just what's the idea in the verse? All right, the verse is فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. Very important verse of the Quran. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا, if they believe. They believe here anyone who was not believing at the time of this verse. Anyone who is not believing, either because you are existing at that time, the da'wah got to you or did not get to you, it's comprehend, the statement envelopes you, or you are coming after that time, because at least at that point in time you have not become a believer in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the verse says, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا, if they believe, بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ, if they believe the like of your own belief. Your own belief here is jama, it's in plural form. It was not talking to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At least only. It says, ma amantum, you in group. So at that point in time, this verse was talking directly to the companions, to the Rasul and the companions. So if anyone wants to believe the belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recognize and accept, he says, ma amantum bihi antum faqad ihtadaw, they have become guided. So guidance is like the guidance of the Rasul and his companions. Anyone that wants to be guided has to believe the like of the belief of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions. Allah did not mention only the Rasul. The Rasul, is the messenger he sent. The kind of belief we should have should be like that of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, he did not say, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتَ. He said, آمَنْتُمْ. So it's bringing the companions, meaning they are so important. As a group of companions, the belief that they had was what the Rasul taught to them. Do we understand? So that verse is very important in the understanding of the status of the companions in Islam. So, and like the brother quoted, we also mentioned the companions are generally divided between al-muhajirun wal-ansar. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? Radiyallahu anhum. I am pleased with them. Meaning, if you want Allah to be pleased with you, you should have Iman, Islam, like these companions, because Allah is pleased with them. And when they get to Allah, they are also pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised them, with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them. Do we understand? So they have a special status, and like the author of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, who said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, selected the best of hearts, the best of people to become the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you go through the seerah of Islam, seerah of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the kind of help that the companions gave to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's marvelous. They actually sacrificed themselves for the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not just because of him, but because the message was coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They really understood the message. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put us on the track of the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We also quoted the ayah, Muhammad Rasulullah والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم. The last verse of Surah Al-Fatih. No. Surah Al-Fatih, yeah. So no, it's Surah Al-Fatih. So where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Fatih, not Fatiha, Fatih. Now, that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those with him, Ashda'u ala al-kuffar, they stand against disbelievers, and gentle among themselves. You see them tara'um rukka'an sujjadan. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. You see them bowing, making prostration, sujood, ruku'. Yabtaghuna fadlan min Allahi wa ridwana. What are they seeking? Why are they exerting themselves that much? They are seeking Allah's fadl. Allah's favors and Allah's pleasure. They want Allah to be pleased with them. They want Allah to love them. They want, the good things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya, in the grave, and in the hereafter, and on the day of judgment. It says, this description of always worshipping, always exerting themselves in worship, which are part of those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, loved them for. It says, "Simahum fi wujuhihim min athari sujud." You see their signs, the sign of sujud on their faces, and he said, ذَلِكَ مَثَلُهُمْ فِي التَّوْرَاتِ. This description of people always worshipping Allah and always seeking Allah's favors and always seeking Allah's pleasure, this is the way they were described in the Torah. وَمَثَلُهُمْ فِي الْإِنْجِيلِ, and this is their description in the Injil. كَزَرْعٍ أَخْرَجَ شَطَأَهُ فَآزَرَهُ فَاسْتَغْلَظَ فَاسْتَوَى. Like, a plant that grows. When it grows, the farms become, solid, wind can't blow it away, and, it becomes upright and things like that. Yu'jibu zurra, those farmers that planted them, they become astonished about this. لِيَغِيظَ بِهِمُ الْكُفَّارِ. Allah is giving us a similitude of Islam, of faith, that is like a sprout, a seed that you plant. It's very feeble. Anything can, mess it up. But as it grows, the root starts becoming firm. It's becoming more solid. It's becoming, and it starts to sprout, starts to bring out, leaves and flowers. And this is how Islam started. Feeble, just the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam telling people, the companions, they were afraid, blah, 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 before Allah gave them Fathu Makkah. As it's growing, Allah did this, the kuffar were becoming angered. Muhammad is preaching, Abu Bakr has become a Muslim, Hamza has become a Muslim, Omar has become a Muslim. It became a problem for them. These are shining sons of Quraysh. How can they go to this ordinary man? How can they leave our gods for this simple man? It's because they were becoming enraged by that. Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the victory, to the point they were telling themselves, do not fight the Muslims. Do not wage war against them, because you can't defeat them again. Some of them were like, until the point, so this is a mathal for how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave victory to the companions because of the help they gave the deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Allah has promised those who believe and do righteous deeds, minhum, those, among those the Rasulullah was calling maghfiratan wa ajran azima. Specifically and generally, anybody that believes and does righteous deeds, you have a promise from Allah. Wallahu la yukhliful mi'ad. Everyone that believes in Allah and the Rasulullah has a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will never break his promise. What are the promises? He said, maghfiratan wa ajran azima. Allah will forgive you of your sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you great reward. Part of the great reward is to make it the day of standing easy for you. But first, the companions who are the foremost in line for this promise, they never sat down. They were worshiping. They were always working on their characters. You should not forget. We'll always concentrate sometimes on our worship. How do I do my ruku very well, my sujud very well? Most of our question is about ibadat, sawm, zakat. But we don't ask questions about mu'amalat, like our akhlaq. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innama bu'ithtu li'utammima makarim al-akhlaq." I've been raised to perfect the character, the moral character of people. Rasulullah also said, Ahsanukum imanan, ahsanukum akhlaqan, aw kama qala Rasulullah. The best of you in iman is the best of you in character. So if you remember iman, you should directly remember character. أكثر ما يدخل الناس الجنة تقوى الله وحسن الخلق. The things that will take people to the Jannah the most is their fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the essence of your iman. Yes, you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you do not fear His punishment. Allah say, I warn you of myself. I warn you of what I could do to you if you do not fear me. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا. Allah said, I warn you about myself. So let's know about Allah. Yes, Allah is the most forgiving. Allah, if you are sincere in your seeking forgiveness, you will find Allah the most forgiving. In a hadith it said, if your sin is so piled up that the top is reaching to the sama, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you if you seek His forgiveness sincerely. So Allah is forgiving, but He doesn't want you to do itikal. Yes, I'm a Muslim. Your character is so bad. You harm people, you cheat people, you hurt people, with your lips, with your tongue. And it's so easy today with our phones. We're busy ourselves with talking about people. Busy yourself with yourself. You are enough a project for yourself. Enough a project for yourself that you can't exhaust. So when you want to sleep, you think about your morning till evening. How did I deal with my wife, my husband, my children before leaving home, my neighbors before leaving the neighborhood, my people at the place of work? How did I deal with them? Did I pass? Score yourself. Hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu. Umar said that check yourself before you will be checked on the day of judgment. This is the essence of Islam. All this Quran I brought to you, all these hadiths is to perfect your character. It's not just to make you a worshipper, and when you deal with people, your character is the worst. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam invited most of those he invited to Islam not because he spoke to them, it's because of his character. Now, we should know that it's one of the hardest things. Working on your character is one of the hardest things, and the shaitan will not leave you, because when you make one other mistake, the shaitan will say, just give up, you can't change. Yes, just no. You tell yourself, the more you want to do it, the more you tell yourself you'll be better, and you pray about it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you, inshallah. All right, we'll go to the statements of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the companions. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a hadith reported by Abu Huraira, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لا تسبوا أصحابي لا تسبوا أصحابي فوالذي نفسي بيده لو أن أحدكم أنفق مثل أحد ذهبا ما أدرك مد أحدهم ولا نصيفه. The hadith, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا تسبوا أصحابي. He said it twice. لا تسبوا أصحابي. Do not, never insult my companions. Never insult my companions. فوالذي نفسي بيده. I swear, the Rasul sallallahu is swearing, I swear by the one in whose hand is my soul. لو أن أحدكم أنفق مثل أحد ذهبا. If you are so generous and you have a mountain size of gold to give in sadaqah, and you actually give it out in sadaqah, mountain huge. If you have ever seen Mountain Uhud before, it's a huge mountain. If it's a gold and it belongs to you, and you give everything in sadaqah, ma adraka mudda ahadihim, it will never reach a mud, what they put in their hand. a mud. It will never reach it in value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that a companion gives. You have a mountain size of gold to give in sadaqah, and they have what they can just pick with their hand to give in sadaqah. Your own will never meet theirs. These are the people that sacrifice for this religion at the time when it can easily be extinguished. So these companions, he said, wala nasifahu, even if it is, half of mud that the companion has, your mountain of gold will never reach it in value before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never insult the companions of the Rasulullah. So never say anything bad about them. And we are going to say some things about, because the companions are human beings. They might make mistakes in some of their decisions. So how do you take those errors that even the Rasulullah sometimes clarify those errors? You understand? Either in worship, either in decisions, political decisions, and things like that. Remember when the Rasulullah, Ammar bin Yasir and Umar were sent to a place, and both of them became junub, and they were like, how do we purify ourselves? And they knew they could purify themselves with the earth, but how do you do tayammum? They don't know it specifically. So Ammar bin Yasir was rolling on the sand, was turning himself in the sand. Umar was looking at him. Hey, this one cannot be correct. This thing he's doing can't be correct. I'm going to stay aloof until I ask the Rasulullah. So when they got to the Rasulullah, Ammar bin Yasir was like, this is what I did. I was rolling myself in the sand. The Rasulullah, with the best of character, did not chastise him. The only thing he did was to describe what the tayammum is. So everybody learned from that. Are we together? So this companion is very valuable to Allah and Rasulullah. We should not disrespect them. We should not insult them. This hadith, Rawah al-Bukhari wa Muslim. Yani muttafaqun alayh. There is in Musnad Imam Ahmad, there is a stern warning against those who insult and disrespect the companions of the Rasulullah. You'll find the hadith in Tirmidhi, also in Sunan al-Bayhaqi, of Shu'ab al-Iman. And Abdullah bin Mughaffal al-Mazani is the one that narrated the hadith. He said, the Rasulullah said, Allah fi ashabi. Allah fi ashabi. Yani, I swear by Allah, or fear Allah regarding my companions. Fear Allah regarding my companions. He says, La tattakhiduhum gharadan ba'di. Do not take them as what you concentrate your disrespect towards. This term could mean a lot of things, but what you focus on and you start to talk bad about and things like that. He said, فَمَنْ أَحَبَّهُمْ فَبِحُبِّ أَحَبَّهُمْ. Whosoever loves this companion, فَبِحُبِّ أَحَبَّهُمْ. It is because that person loves me that he loves them. Meaning, if you hate the companions, you hate the Rasulullah. If you hate the companions, you hate the Rasulullah. And whosoever hate the Rasulullah, don't. Because part of the conditions of La ilaha illallah is to love the Rasul, to love Allah and to love the Rasulullah. You cannot say you believe in Allah and the Rasulullah and you hate Allah and the Rasulullah. It's not possible. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِ. You understand? So the love of Allah is very essential for our iman. The love of the Rasulullah is very essential for our iman. And the Rasulullah is now connecting the love for him to the love of the companions. So it says, فَمَنْ أَحَبَّهُمْ فَبِحُبِّ أَحَبَّهُمْ وَمَنْ أَبْغَضَهُمْ فَبِبُغْضِ أَبْغَضَهُمْ. Whoever hates the companions, and the first part also could mean if whoever loves the companions will gain my love. That's part of the meaning. Whoever loves the companion gains my love. So فَبِحُبِّ could mean whoever loves the companion loves me, because the ba there could mean, both, could take both meanings, and it could also mean whoever loves the companion gets my own love too. So whoever hates the companion could mean hates me, or whoever hates the companion gets my hate. So Allah's Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Messenger of Allah, is saying, whoever hates the companion, I hate the person also. And we don't want to work, for the hate of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. وَمَنْ آذَاهُمْ فَقَدْ آذَانِي. Whoever hurts the companions has hurt me. Whoever hurts the companion has hurt me. وَمَنْ آذَانِي فَقَدْ آذَى اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. Whoever hurts me has hurt Allah. The hadith of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where he said, "Man aadha li waliyan faqad aadhantu lahu bil harb." If Allah loves a person and you harm and hurt that person with what you say and what you do, Allah says He has declared war against such a person. So anyone who hurts the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is a friend of Allah, the companions are, because Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is pleased with them, that person is wants, and the Rasul said in this, وَمَنْ آذَى اللَّهَ فَيُوشَكُ أَنْ يَأْخُذَهُ. Whoever hurts Allah, or you cannot hurt Allah, but in human sense, you are doing what Allah Subhanahu wa Taala does not like, what angers Allah, because Allah gets angry. One of His sifa, He gets angry at what people do or what people say. Are we together? So He says, whoever hurts Allah, فَيُوشَكُ أَنْ يَأْخُذَهُ. Allah, it's only few moments, or it will not take a long time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grab such a person. Meaning, when you say akhdullahi, in the Quran, the Hadith, it means punishment. To not take long that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish such a person. Either in this world, we've seen that among the kuffar of the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and after, and even in our own time. Those who insult the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah disgraces them. So that is the sunnah of Allah. You hurt Allah, you hurt the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah declares war against you. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of this. So this is also telling us about the status of the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we do not insult them and we do not harm them by any means. We do not harm them in their lifetime and after them. So we do not harm the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam al-Manawi rahimahullah, he said, ittaqullaha fihim. He said the meaning of this hadith is that you should fear Allah regarding the companions. Wala talmizuhum bisu. You should not touch them with any harm. But you should do what? Uthkurullaha fihim wa fi ta'zimihim wa tawkirihim. Be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding these companions by, respecting them, magnifying them, elevating them, and respecting them. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, a noble companion of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he reported a hadith that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sabba ashabi fa alayhi la'natullahi wal malaika wan nasi ajma'in." Man sabba ashabi fa alayhi la'natullahi wal malaika wan nasi ajma'in. This hadith, rawahu at-Tabrani وله شواهد ولذا حسنه الألباني. Imam Sheikh Al-Albani fi Sahiha said this hadith is Hasan because of the shawahid that the hadith had, that the hadith had different narrations coming together. Those narrations might have weakness one way or the other, but when you put them together, they are saying the same thing narrated by different people, and when it comes together, it becomes Hasan. So Rasulullah in this hadith sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Man sabba ashabi, whosoever insults my companion, فَعَلَيْهِ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ, may Allah's la'na has a vast meaning. However, a lot of, the simple translation is curse of Allah. And curse of Allah means anger of Allah, wrath of Allah, punishment of Allah. It envelopes all this meaning. So, فَعَلَيْهِ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ, upon that person is Allah's curse, meaning Allah's anger, punishment, and things like that. Wal malaika, and the malaika, their curse, they will be cursing that person, and nas ajma'in, people also will be cursing them. And that is why a Muslim will not feel comfortable where the companions of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being insulted. We should not feel comfortable about that. We'll quickly go into Athar. What is Athar? In the Mustalah al-Hadith, whatever is ascribed to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is called Hadith. Whatever is ascribed to none other than the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is called Athar. And they have different levels too. The one ascribed to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Marfu. The one ascribed to the companions is Mawquf, and the one ascribed to the students of the companion is called Maqtu. All these are terminologies that you will find when scholars are explaining the status of a hadith. So the students of the companions, what do they say about the companions? Here I mentioned لَقَدْ عَرَفَ السَّلَفُ الصَّالِحُ فَضْلَ الصَّحَابَةِ الْكِرَامِ وَبَيَّنُوا ذَلِكَ وَرَدُّوا عَلَى كُلِّ مَنْ أَرَادَ انتقاصهم رضي الله عنهم. قال عمر رضي الله عنهما لا تصوب أصحاب محمد فَلِمَقَامِ أَحَدِهِمْ سَاعَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ عَمَلِ أَحَدِكُمْ عُمْرًا. So the people that lived with the companions and the companions themselves, they cherish the status of the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Here, one of the companions, the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab, says, "Do not insult the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَلِمَقَامِ أَحَدِهِمْ سَاعَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ عَمَلِ أَحَدِكُمْ عُمْرًا." The good action like salat of one companion for 1 hour is better than whatever you can do in your lifetime. This is depicting what Rasulullah said himself. He said, if you have لَوْ أَنَّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْفَقَ مِثْلَ أُحُدِ ذَهَبًا, if any of you should have mountain Uhud as gold, and you are so generous, you can give it out in sadaqah, the value is not like what they have in their hand, even if it is half of the mud. So what Ibn Umar said is confirming what the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that if you stand 1 hour, if they stand 1 hour in salah, for example, it's better than what you can bring forth in your whole lifetime. This is the manzila. This is the status that Allah and His Rasul have given the companions. This is how valuable these people are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This hadith, this athar, you'll find it in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad. A man came to Abdullah ibn Mubarak and asked him, Muawiyatun Afdal aw Umar bin Abdul Aziz? Abdullah ibn Mubarak was a very righteous scholar during, a student of some companions, and he lived in the house of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is after the Rasul now. You understand? So he lived among the household of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's one of the fadl of Abdullah ibn Mubarak. Someone came to him and asked, is Muawiyah better or Umar bin Abdul Aziz? Umar bin Abdul Aziz was not a companion of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but Muawiyah was a companion of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said, La turabun fi mankharay Muawiyatun ma'a Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam khayrun wa afdal min Umar bin Abdul Aziz. That, may dust be thrown in my nostrils is a terminology in Arabic that, wow, when they are astonished, what kind of a question is this? Muawiyah to Umar bin Abdul Aziz? He said it categorically. Muawiyah is better than Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Umar bin Abdul Aziz had a wonderful influence on Islam, on the dynasty of Islam. He was a just ruler. He was categorized as the 5th Caliph after the 4th Caliph Khulafa of Islam because of his justice, because of the blessings his righteousness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the land of Islam during his reign. However, you can't compare him. There's a reason why the man came to ask. You understand? Because some of them were, during the time of Muawiyah, there were a lot of things that happened. And when the time of Umar bin Abdul Aziz came, a lot of good things happened. So who is better? No, Muawiyah was a companion. Umar bin Abdul Aziz was not a companion. With all the sharaf that we know about Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah. So the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a high status with Allah and the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, similarly, جاء رجل إلى الإمام أبو الزرع الرازي رحمه الله فقال يا أبا الزرع أنا أبغض معاوية قال لما؟ قال لأنه قاتل علي فقال أبو الزرع. This person came to Abu Zur'a. Abu Zur'a was one of a very big scholar of Islam, very, very profound scholar of Islam. We may not have time to talk about these people, but he was someone who took, after the companions who, Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar were people who, after the Rasul started going around the companions to collect hadith. And some other, companions too. So their own students also did that. Part of those scholars that did that is Abu Zura al-Razi. Someone came to him and told him, Ana ubghidu Muawiyah. I don't like Muawiyah. I hate Muawiyah. He said, why? He said, because he's fighting Ali. So I don't like him for that. So Imam Abu Zura al-Razi told him, he said, رب معاوية إن رب معاوية رب رحيم وخصم معاوية خصم كريم فما دخولك أنت بينهما رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. He said, the Lord of Muawiyah, that is Allah, the Lord of Muawiyah is Rabbun Rahim, is a forgiving Lord. If you think Muawiyah made a mistake by fighting Ali, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the Rabb of Muawiyah, is forgiving. Wa khasmu Muawiyah khasmun kareem. The reason why Muawiyah is fighting is a noble one. Why? Because he's defending the blood of Uthman. And the only, like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam predicted that this fight will take place, is that both of them will be fighting for something, just. Uthman was killed. Ali is saying, let's take time before we and Muawiyah is saying we should go for those who killed Uthman. So it's Khasmun Kareem. What is your concern to come in between Ali and Muawiyah? What's your own concern? That took place, yes, but it's not your concern to come between and say, I hate this one for this. It's not our concern. And this is the manhaj of the people that came before us. Because of that mistake, you don't hate a part of the companions and say you select one for your love. No, you love all of them together, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, radiyallahu anhum. He said Muhajirun, he said Ansar, he said radiyallahu anhum. Not that I like this part and I hate this part. No. Allah is pleased with all the companions of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam because of their action. So we don't insult them, we do not disrespect them, we do not neglect them, we do not say bad things about them because of things that happened in their time. Because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam predicted some of these things and he did not chastise one for the other. Are we together? So the companions are people with high status before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have high status before the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that is why Allah said, if you want to be guided, you have to believe the kind of belief of the companions. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. If they believe the way you companions believe, they will be guided. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the best understanding about the companions. Please, let's not go in between the companions when people say, oh, this one happened between this and that. The manhaj is to respect all of them and love all of them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.